Life in the northeast India is moving at a great speed now. Even in small towns, there is no time to think. There is a hurry to get all that one can and really soon. Even to this young man who is seeing so much at such a young age, he has so many things at his disposal. Yet there is noise, there is din, a lack of direction in his life. There is so much confusion and stress. Stress of proving himself to the people around him. Seriously, where is he heading? And why is he so confused? I wonder. Yet there are a few who are able to hold on to their own, find their mission early in life. There's this youth who many years back in a small town of Ahmednagar in Maharashtra found his goal and excelled in his field. His knowledge was limited like all other youth of his age. There was no means to be connected to the world outside. And his immediate surroundings were just routine, ordinary, mundane. How then could he transform his confusion into a vision? I wonder how he remained so clear about his goal, his path. This youth grew up to be the yoga guru Sadashiv Nimbalkar. He found his mission through deep study of things around him. His interest in sports and physical fitness led him to discover Yoga Shastra. His keen sense of wanting to do something meaningful for himself and his society kept his passions burning and visions focused. Sadashiv Nimbalkar found his path through his own initiatives, through gaining an understanding of his own inclinations, and through his undiluted faith in himself.
In the old days, the sacrifice was most important qualification. It was taught at the school, and it was taught at the family, it was taught in the society that you have to sacrifice for everything. That the individual has to sacrifice for the family, family has to sacrifice for the society has to sacrifice for the nation, and nation for the whole world. जैसे दिनकर गांगल he was representative of Maharashtra Times. And he asked me, why don't you write something and give it to me, 2 or 3 articles. I wrote 2 or 3 articles, and to my surprise, they were appreciated by so many persons. There were so many letters also to the editors, and then he asked me to go on writing, and I wrote 31 articles.
Yoga Shastra is certainly not the only solution to stress, to confusion, to lack of direction. However, it surely helps you to understand yourself. It helps you to look inwards and to take a positive step towards opening your mind. It helps one awaken to his or her inner consciousness.
The mind, body and Chaitanya. These three are the parts of the life. But the Chaitanya itself is nothing but a power, which is a living power, alien vital, or the power by which you see man goes on living. It is just like the electricity. When the electricity is there, we cannot show that electricity, but that the power is there. So if we want to show it to somebody, then we put on the button and the lights are on. So that Chaitanya is one of the essential powers for the living being. Youths are youths. They are having a best energy, physical and mentally. The molding is more important of the youth.
Youth definitely are looking to find a good leader. Their young minds are pulled in many directions. In such a situation, a clarity is what a young mind is looking out for, and that is one thing that can be provided by a leader. Someone who has himself found his path with great struggles and knows what are the values that hold good forever.
Mostly the thinkers, the leaders, even the kings and the common people, they used to aspire that Krumanto Vishwamaryam. That means you see every whole of the world, you have to make it great.
Our mind is forever active, restless even in sleep, constantly picking up impressions, registering all that it is seeing, hearing, and smelling. It is constantly hungry for something new, something that gives it food for thought and holds its attention. Our mind is like a monster, mischievous and hungry, and is attracted to all that can give him pleasure, excite his senses, and even gives him momentary relaxation. So it is hardly aware of how it falls prey to evil sleep. Once a blind person asked Swami Vivekananda Can there be anything worse than a person losing his eyesight? He replied, yes, don't lose vision. How true, I thought. Losing eyesight can be compensated by making other sensory organs more active and sensitive. But losing one's vision? It's like losing the very purpose of living.
Stories can convey the messages. So I have also started telling the stories to give the messages to the people, and that is easier for the people to understand the messages. Last 30 years, I am writing the stories one each month, and then those stories have been published in a book form, and that book is called Pearls of Wisdom.
One option could be to feed the monster mind with proper food that keeps it excited, curious, and at the same time gives out fine messages. These help shaping up one's thoughts and keep the enthusiasm alive to work towards its mission. It is like sowing good seeds for healthy plants to grow up. I have seen how storytelling in families, the jatakas, parables, fables, they have often been a good way to transmit values without directly imparting or preaching. Activities like these help in cultivating a sense of sharing among the young ones, help them bond with their families and open out to them. Children share their innermost thoughts with family members, and surely they feel secure in their surroundings. The absence of such bonding creates a vacuum in one's life.
There are two ways of getting the fulfillment of the aim of yoga. That is samadhi, nirbija samadhi or kaivalya. This samadhi is the last stage of antaranga yoga, dharana, dhyan and samadhi. There are two types of samadhi. One is savikalpa samadhi. That means you see a man here, having the mind, can go into that samadhi, forgetting his own individuality, and he becomes one with the subject. That is also called samadhi. But that is savikalpa samadhi, where the mind is there. And the nirvikalpa samadhi is the spiritual samadhi. Now suppose if an actor is there, he goes into that role. He plays the role on the stage. And that time he forgets his identity, his personality, his individuality, he forgets. And then he becomes one with that particular role. And that type of savikalpa samadhi, it will be beneficial to him or her.
There is so much for the young people to know, to learn and to gain insight about. But the youth today is constantly battling against confusion and lack of direction.
There is a vast difference between the old and the new generation. The old generation have cultural and the traditional imprints and the experiences about it. But the new generation, it needs the traditional and the cultural imprints and at the same time experience about it. I was trying to find out the way how to serve the people. Yoga was one of the ways to serve the people. But yoga, as the other people also think, that I was also thinking that it is a spirituality. It is nothing, you have to leave this world and go into the jungle. But when I started studying the yogic literature, particularly in Hatha Pradipika, which is one of the best books on Hatha Yoga, I found one shlok, that is one stanza. Here it says, Ashesha tapa taptanam samashaya matho hatha. Ashesh means all. Tapa tapta means those who are troubled in this world, those who are, you see, tense in this world by so many questions, so many problems. For them, Hatha Yoga is a resting place. So when I saw it and when I studied it, I thought that this is the best way to serve the people. And I was more interested in teaching part. Whatever I used to know, I used to teach it. It is said by one of the saints that जे आपणा शिकावे ते दुसऱ्याशी शिकवावे. That means you see, whatever you know, you should try to teach it to others. So at Ahmednagar, I taught so many things to so many persons, and I tried to be a teacher in the society. There is a story about Brahma in Taittiriya Upanishad. There was Bhrigu and Aruni. Bhrigu was a rishi and Aruni was his son. Many people used to come to Bhrigu and they used to discuss about Brahma. So Aruni was anxious to know what is Brahma. So once he asked Bhrigu, "Father, what is Brahma?" He said, "Child, you are a small boy, why you are after Brahma?" He said, "No, I would like to know Brahma." So again and again he insisted upon. Bhrigu told him that, "Do you want to know Brahma?" He said, "Yes, father, I would like to know Brahma." So go into the jungle, meditate there, think about it, and you will come to know Brahma. So after 6 months, you come back and tell me your progress. He said, all right. He went and he stayed there. He thought about Brahma. He said it must be most essential for the human body. What is essential? The food is essential. So he thought that food must be Brahma. So after 6 months, he came back and Bhrigu asked him, "Did you get Brahma?" He said, "Yes, I know Brahma now. Annam Brahma." Bhrigu said, "No." Again, that boy, he went into the jungle. He meditated upon it. He thought about it. And then he came to conclusion. The living force must be a Brahma, because it is more essential. Then after 6 months he came back. Bhrigu asked him, "Do you know now Brahma?" He said, "Yes. Prana is Brahma, that is the living force is the Brahma." Again Bhrigu said, "No, boy, that is not Brahma. Brahma is more essential, more important than even prana, that is the living force." That boy went again. So he thought about mind. "Now father, now I got Brahma. The mind is Brahma. Knowledge is not Brahma." So again that boy went, and then he went into the trance. He experienced the Brahma, but he didn't came back after 6 months. So when Bhrigu saw that after every 6 months he is coming, but he is not coming now, so he went to search Aruni. So he called Aruni in the jungle, and under a banyan tree he saw that Aruni is dancing. He is enjoying and he is in the complete trance. He said, Aruni, I am your father." "Bhrigu, after 6 months you didn't come." He said, "Father, why I should come when I got Brahma?" "Did you get Brahma?" He said, "Yes." "You don't feel that I got Brahma?" what is Brahma? So Aruni asked him, do you want to know Brahma? He said, yes. So go into the jungle, meditate upon it, think about it, and you will get Brahma. Brahma is a thing to be experienced and not to be told. The molding is more important of the youth, and it can be done by the thinkers and the philosophers and the leaders and the people, those who think that they can change them. They should keep a moral before them and try to change the youth. Let the power of youth be useful for the humanity.
Let a new dawn descend on this land, the land of sheer beauty, bringing with itself new promises that will illuminate the paths of every young mind and will evolve him to be a true being. Let the new dawn wipe out the dark memories of yesteryears and open into a whole new era. An era in which the young minds can walk with their heads held high and hearts to realize their dreams.